Hi, VencoreWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Thursday, February 19th. Some incredible cold this morning in the eastern half of the nation. We'll experience possible record-breaking lows tomorrow morning, Friday morning here in the I-95 corridor. Many areas, especially in suburban locations, tomorrow morning should reach sub-zero levels. Probably the coldest temperatures of the winter so far experienced tomorrow morning in the I-95 corridor. I know the record low for tomorrow morning in Philadelphia at the airport in Philly is 1 degree. That certainly is in jeopardy. 8 degrees at National Airport, Reagan National Airport in Washington. That is certainly in jeopardy come tomorrow morning. This is a map from coolweather.com that shows record lows this morning or near record lows, just a widespread area throughout the eastern half of the nation. Some of the notable readings that I saw, minus 39 degrees in a small town in Michigan. Chicago right now is minus 8 degrees. That's a record low for the date. Excuse me, farther south in Illinois, right in this area right here, Mount Vernon, Illinois is minus 11 degrees. That's a record low for the month of February. And just near there, a little bit to the south and west, Cape Girardeau, Missouri, minus 18 degrees at last hour. That ties their all-time record low temperature, not just for the month, but all-time record low temperature right now, minus 18 degrees at Cape Girardeau, Missouri. Well, we have a lot of interesting weather coming up over the next several days. First of all, this incredible cold that will last right into Saturday. Again, Friday morning, probably the peak of this cold wave and probably the coldest air, coldest temperatures of the season so far in the I-95 corridor with sub-zero readings. Quite likely in many suburban locations, especially in the I-95 corridor, come Friday morning. High temperatures today, no better than the teens, and tomorrow could even struggle to reach the teens in parts of the I-95 corridor. Of course, we'll have even lower, painfully cold wind chill values over the next 24 hours or so. Winds will finally diminish later tomorrow and especially tomorrow night. And those calm conditions tomorrow night could lead to some 0-degree readings on Saturday morning. Certainly single digits are likely come Saturday morning. And then we have a lot of precipitation headed our way. And given the very cold ground temperatures, that could bode ill for some possible icing, especially overnight Saturday. After it begins as snow and ends as plain rain on Sunday, there certainly can be an extended period of icing, especially in the time frame of Saturday night into early Sunday morning. We'll kind of talk about that over the next couple of minutes. First of all, this is from TropicalTidbits.com. It shows the evolution of the 0Z GFS model run for the next couple of days. We'll walk through this frame by frame. This is actually a 12-hour forecast from last night's 0Z model run for this morning, right now. And I wanted to point out here a close-up of the northeastern U.S., the thickness values. These dashed blue lines here represent what are called the thickness values in the lower half of the atmosphere from 1,000 millibars to 500 millibars. And the thickness of that layer is pretty well correlated to temperatures. As it gets colder, that thickness contracts, and as it gets warmer, the thickness expands. So to look for colder and colder air, you look for the lower and lower thickness values. And right here, this is a thickness value of 492 as of this morning. And we'll see as we progress through the day here, that 492 thickness continues to expand a little bit to the south and east. And in fact, by 7 p.m. tonight, here we go, the 492 thickness is all the way to the Mason-Dixon line. In other words, it gets a little bit colder as the day progresses. We have not quite reached the cold core of that air mass. In fact, by 6Z tonight, which is 1 a.m., that 492 thickness drops all the way down to the near DC region. Again, a strong pressure gradient here that we've had with a lot of these Arctic air outbreaks, indicating the winds will be quite strong and painfully cold wind chill values. During my days at Penn State, one of the rules of thumb were if there was a well-mixed atmosphere, these thickness values can give you some kind of a ballpark figure for the surface temperatures. If you just look at the last 2 digits of the thickness values, in other words, if the thickness was 510, you could be in the ballpark for about a 10-degree reading, or if it was 505, then 5-degree surface temperature, again, if it's a well-mixed atmosphere. Well, when you're down to 492 thickness, that's below zero. That's below the 500 thickness value, which kind of is the zero line in a well-mixed atmosphere. So 492 thickness is very impressive indeed, and it indicates that we could have many sub-zero temperatures come Friday morning. Let's now walk through this, and here is the Friday morning forecast. Now, you notice this time now the 498 thickness is starting to advance past the DC metro region, and it continues to move to the north and east by the middle part of tomorrow night, maybe 1 o'clock Saturday morning, 1 a.m. Saturday morning. We're up to a 522 thickness, but don't necessarily have to have the lowest thickness values to get some very cold temperatures in this particular air mass. Another way to get very cold temperatures is if high pressure starts to move in and you have calm winds and mostly clear skies, and indeed that seems to be setting up for tomorrow night, Friday night. High pressure, indicated here by this big H, will be moving over the I-95 corridor. So while the 1,000 to 500 millibar thickness values will be on the rise, the winds will be diminishing, and the combination of calm winds tomorrow night and mostly clear skies could lead to another zero or perhaps even slightly below zero type of readings come early Saturday morning. Now let's progress through the day on Saturday, and we'll see that a lot of precipitation is starting to head our way from the southwest. This is early Saturday afternoon. The blues here represent snow, the pinks a mixed bag of sleet and freezing rain, and the greens and yellows plain rain. By early afternoon, it's just on the doorstep of the DC metro region, and then by late afternoon, early evening, it's about 7 p.m. Saturday night, snow has broken out basically from DC north and east. Initially, this looks like a snow event. It can even be some accumulating snow at the onset. All this time, warmer air will be trying to move in the upper part of the atmosphere at first, and then the lower part of the atmosphere comes late Saturday night and Sunday. Let's now jump ahead another 6 hours. By this time, it's changed over to plain rain according to the GF model, but I believe there will be a period between the snow and the plain rain of icing, and there could even be an extended period of some icing given these extremely cold ground conditions, and we're talking in the Saturday night time frame. By Sunday morning, any mixed precipitation that continues is liable to change to plain rain. Will actually jump to the 40s in many parts of the I-95 corridor on Sunday. That is a temporary warm-up, so enjoy those 40s on Sunday, because a much colder air mass moves back in by the early part of next week. In fact, we can continue to walk through this GFS model forecast. This is Sunday morning. By this time, pretty much all rain, plain rain in the I-95 corridor, and then by Sunday evening that precipitation moves out, but we get a colder air mass moving in, and here we go. By Monday morning we're back to the deep freeze again with strong north winds, Arctic high pressure over the Midwest, so very cold air returns by the early part of next week. So in summary, a lot going on over the next several days. We have incredible cold from right now into Saturday morning, possible record-breaking lows in the I-95 corridor, especially centered on tomorrow morning, Friday morning, where sub-zero lows are quite possible, especially in suburban locations. Then we modify in temperatures over the weekend. At the same time, a lot of moisture pushes in from the southwest. Right now it looks like a period of snow, then a mixed precipitation period of sleet and freezing rain, ultimately changing to plain rain come Sunday as temperatures climb temporarily into the 40s on Sunday before yet another Arctic blast arrives early next week. That's it for now. For VencoreWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.